Now what? ELB, right?
Okay, AMI में देखा तो ना तो बोल रहा है ना, you can either choose like it's basically like a IF file.
हाँ.
You can either choose like Linux, Windows, and
हाँ.
anything. So basically when we are going on Internet Explorer,
हाँ.
and then we are going on the website and then copying this file.
क्या हुआ? Internet Explorer?
We are going on Internet Explorer and that's where we are getting this file from, right?
No.
Huh?
No.
Yeah. अब अपन वैसे दिए था ना CentOS.
CentOS is where you did it manually, right?
Yeah.
But in Amazon, you have Amazon Marketplace. Okay, my boy.
Time website का था.
तो launch instance डालता ना?
हाँ.
Launch instance डाला जब, did you ever get the file from your local system? Where did you choose the Linux or Windows? In the EC2, while you are launching the EC2, where did you get the Linux operating system from? Launch
By default.
इंस्टेंस का तो बटन प्रेस करते ही तेरे को फर्स्ट पूछेगा लिनक्स बोल के इधर आता, लिनक्स बोल के आया तो इधर सेलेक्ट मारता, इधर लिस्ट ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स आते तो इधर तो सेलेक्ट मारता, याद है?
Okay, yeah.
हाँ, उधर सेलेक्ट करता.
Yeah.
Where do you find this Linux and other AMIs that are in Amazon Marketplace? That itself is in the marketplace.
So by default and already तो कर
वो
देगा.
कौन पे वो launch instance बोलते ही तेरे को उधर आ जाता.
Okay.
Like that will follow.
Okay.
But basically, if you want to get the AMI other than directly from launching instance, you will go to the Amazon.
So they have all
Marketplace.
the versions, even like CentOS, yeah, so many like
Yeah.
versions.
Yeah.
By default they have all.
Yeah. What is the primary use of AMI? Is again the important question. Why do we need to have AMI? We have private AMIs, Valorant set करा, public AMIs.
Okay.
बोले तो, what are these AMIs basically? Like it is not only just .ios file, ISO files. They are just basically ISO files. Means the image files like Linux or Windows or anything. But what is the beauty of this Amazon machine image? That file is when we launch an instance out of this AMI, right? अब EC2 instance आता है इसमें से. किसका? Linux, for example. समझ में आया? This is an Linux.iso file तो choose करता. Launch instance बोल के मारे जब. Then you will create an EC2 instance out of this. Right? Now you have this. You can SSH to this instance using putty. Okay? What do you have there? तेरे को एक कमांड लाइन ओपन होता, वो कमांड लाइन में तेरे को HTTP है नहीं है, नहीं है, PHP है नहीं है. तो the beauty of this AMI is after installing, after getting one instance out of this AMI, तो क्या कर सकता है? You can just go to that CLI and then install all these packages for that particular instance. But this particular, you are not doing anything to this ISO.
Yeah.
You are just doing to that particular EC2 instance. So when you are, done installing, right? When you are done installing and also all other required packages that you want to your development group or something, what you can do, इधर instances का तू देखे तो EC2 इंस्टेंस कुछ इंस्टेंस बोल के आता, इधर रनिंग बोल के आता था, if that is running, right? What you can do is you can right click and उधर क्या आता बोले तो create image बोल के आता.
Okay.
This is the beauty part. It means you are doing this for what? For these things. It means an EC2 instance, this is what? This is linux.iso file plus on that you installed these two packages for this example. Okay? Now you make an image out of it. Right? You create a new image out of this particular instance.
Okay.
तो क्या होता? You will create one more AMI here.
Okay.
In the marketplace, you'll add, when you are done with this creation, you'll have by default a private new AMI with whatever the name you give. Or consider dev lin AMI. This is your name. समझ में आ रहा?
Okay.
This is by default, it is private to you only. If you want to make it public means anybody can access this thing. So you can just right click and then you can make it public. That's a normal case. So what is the use of this AMI? Why do we need to create a new AMI out of already existing this thing? Is whatever that you see here, this is just a basic Linux operating system that you have.
Empty operating system, and then what you install on that, you are like, now you have this file, so whatever, like in your group, if other people want to use it, you want to share it to your group, then they can just directly just use that rather than having an empty one and then reinstalling it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, you are getting it now. Again, this is not an empty instance or empty AMI. We don't consider it as an empty AMI, but we consider it as a basic AMI.
Yes.
Right? It will still have applications, but it is like basic ones. But this, adding all these things and creating a new image out of it, it is a customized AMI. So we configure according to our requirements. We have three kinds of teams: development here, testing here, and then an analytics team here. So three different groups need to have three different softwares. Development they need to have some kind of considering if it is a Windows this thing or like HTTP होना उसको PHP होना development वालों को, and then again to testing वालों को देखे तो testing करने को उन लोगों को दूसरा package होना, which developers doesn't need. So they don't want to include those testing in this developer. So they want to separate it. So whenever there is a new employee coming in and you want to have an instance out of it, you don't want to take the normal one and then sit with him, hey, how are you doing, and then till that time you are trying to install whatever the package is required for that group. We don't do that because we want everything to be manual and time constrained. So for that we already create one instance and then add whatever the package required to that particular group and then save it as an AMI. So whenever a new employee comes in, hey, this is your AMI. So you can just directly start like as if this is the replica of this previous AMI. So that is the beauty of Amazon machine image.
Okay.
Right? And where do you find these images again? In the Amazon marketplace.
Okay.
You find a variety of images there. You find public images there, you find private, your own images there. So that is the main and particular use of Amazon machine image.
Okay.
Okay? You have any doubts with this?
Yeah.
You sure? So, what do we have in the auto scaling group? What is auto scaling group?
So
What do we have in this?
Basically, in auto scaling, we have like a minimum amount of servers running,
For example,
like 2 servers
2. Okay.
running, and basically then what we do is like we set the metrics.
Okay.
Saying okay,
And we add more.
huh?
And we add more.
That we add like depending on the traffic,
Okay.
we can add like let's say 3 more.
3 more. Okay.
Yeah. If the traffic increases,
Hmm.
we set a rule that okay, then you increase it 3 more. Because in traffic certain percentage in the traffic articles, then I want 3 more.
Okay, that's great. So we have 2 instances.
Yeah.
When we have just one instance, how do we connect the traffic to one instance? EC2 है भाई मैं कनेक्ट, हाँ? I'm trying to access this particular server from internet client. Okay? Client is trying to access to this EC2 instance or server, right? If it is only one instance, he can directly get to it.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Correct.
But what if there are more than one instance? This is just a general scenario. What if there are more than one instances? Which one it has to go? It has to, the client has to go to this one or this one. Which one? Or when it spikes, the request has to go to which one?
Whichever one is like has less traffic or more traffic will go to that.
Who will decide that one?
Less to go to that.
Exactly. So we have client system here, and then we have ELB. Right? So what happens is the client will send the request to access the system, and this ELB will have connection to every instances. Every instance it is having. They can be in different ACs. Okay? They can be in different availability zones. They don't have to be in the same
Right.
and that is also not a right thing to do when we are using these many instances. So the ELB will decide, to which instance it has to go using what? Round robin.
Right.
राउंड रॉबिन रूट. तो पहला इंस्टेंस आया, पहला रिक्वेस्ट आया, then it will go to this. No, दूसरा आया, then it will go to this.
Yeah.
Third, this.
Yeah.
Fourth, that. This is what ELB is trying to do. Right? Again, क्या बोलते हैं? This auto scaling. Auto scaling definitely needs to have an ELB.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist without that, because if it is more than one instance, then the traffic have to be distributed. The distribution part is taken care of ELB, because this is only serving the request. It won't take the EC2 instance won't take the try to distribute the traffic. He is the one who will distribute the traffic. Okay, he is the one who balances the load of the traffic, right? So that's why it is elastic load balancer. So the auto scaling group will sit on ELB.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it needs one more instance, then it will add one more instance in this one. This will be connected to this one.
So we have to connect them or like.
While the configuration, there are like launch configuration करते हैं, AMI select करते हैं, auto scaling group करते हैं. Auto scaling group में I need 2 instances all the time, and rest of all they may increase or decrease, I don't know, don't care. And then after that we select an ELB. We first create an ELB and attach that ELB to this auto scaling group. You know, this, so this ELB will take care of these, whether to serve the traffic or not. And how will this ELB decides what if you know, there is something wrong with one instance, like it is not, the files are corrupted, or you know, they don't have the required software or whatever it is. Considering this EC2 instance is corrupted by somehow, how will the ELB will know that it should not send traffic to this instance? Because if it is still sending a traffic to an instance which is corrupted, which is not serving the request, then it is waste of time and it is waste of you know, all the resources there. If it is not working, then it should not send to this instance. It has to send it to other instance. How will the ELB know whether this instance is working right or not?
The health check.
Health check. Exactly. You know it, bro? So ELB is the one who will check the health check of all the instances. And what is the health check? It means like whether the EC2 instance is, you know, working properly or not. It means like it doesn't check for the softwares which are working properly or not. It will only check whether the connection is doing well or not.
Right.
So it can be either like you can create an file all the time and then try to ping that file all the time, or you can just you know, try to SSH, not SSH, like try to ping an instance and see whether the reply is getting or not. So based on that, the health check, you know, when you open the ELB, it will show the health check of each and every instances.
Okay.
Right?
So if one instance is not working, then it will like delete and the auto scaling will automatically create.
Yes, it will terminate.
Okay.
Yes. So
what if like जो भी देखा तो उसमें है with that instance,
in this ELB,
so it will copy all that in that new.
yes, you're right.
Who will do that auto scaling?
No. I mean, not S3 will do it, S3 won't do it. S3 is still a storage for these instances. I'll tell you it that way. Or if these instances are in different zones, then it is considered as cross-zone load balancing. Okay? All the. Okay? What is an S3? Exactly. What do we have in S3? Okay? So what happens is, you know bootstrap script, right? What is the bootstrap script?
So basically what bootstrap script does is, as जो भी वो instance में था, it takes that and then it copies it, like.
You are giving an example, but what is a bootstrap script? You're right. That is how we used to bootstrap script for exactly that. But what exactly is bootstrap? When does it work? When does it not work? Okay, bootstrap script is nothing but, you know, at the time of, you know, the EC2 instance launches, it's not yet available for the clients to use it, but it is trying to launch all the packages from what?
From all the packages.
When